we could hear our scuba guide knocking on something. That means he wants our attention. There's the hand signal. He says there's something under here. That means there's a shark under there. That hand signal there. It's kind of hard to see. Glenn obviously can't see it just yet.
I'm having trouble with my buoyancy. I'm floating up too much. I'm trying to weigh myself down. Tracy's sneaking in with the camera. And right here when the guide reaches up to help me out and pull me down.
Do you see it?
Can you see it? If not, we got it here.
There is a nurse shark in there, right there. Don't let the size of that red outline fool you. It's actually closer to 6 feet long underneath there. You can tell it's a nurse shark because it has 2 dorsal fins.
You'll see me come down here in a second, and I finally see the shark, and I just about had a heart attack underwater. I look over at Tracy, and I try and tell her, oh my goodness, it's huge. It's massive. That thing, I would have guessed 10 to 12 feet long. I asked the guide later, and he said no, it was more like 6 feet, but I freaked out.
Hard not to. There's a lot of people swimming around, so I tried to get a different angle on the fish, so I swam up and over it. This is mostly at the bottom of your screen. If you look down there, you might be able to catch his face. It's right at the bottom left. Again, it was really hard to stick my camera under the thing,
Right
but
there.
there's his fins, there's his back tail. Oh my god.
So since we've been home, we've looked it up, and nurse sharks are actually nocturnal. And so seeing one sleeping on the bottom like that is actually very, very common. They don't usually have any problems with humans unless so a human goes and tugs on its tail is usually the only time that they give humans any problems. So leaving them alone is always just the best way to go about it. Here our guide is pointing out that he's found another animal.
Which is actually the food of the nurse shark.
I try and remember the symbol for stingray, but believe it or not, in Kansas they don't really teach you the symbol for stingray. Shark one's pretty easy to figure out, but the one for a stingray was a little difficult for me to find. And as Tracy drifts down here, you'll see how well the stingray camouflages into the bottom of the water here. It's pretty difficult to see. It was about 9 inches or so across, maybe a little smaller for this one, but right there, you see him? The tail sticking out and everything. Almost impossible to see. I don't know how the guides find him so easily, but he did. Very cool. I give Tracy a thumbs up, which was something you're not supposed to do. That means go up.
With this cool stuff, I'm staying down.
Yeah, we're not going up anytime soon. So.
I'm just blown away by the diversity of the coral here. You see those guys there in the center of the screen? They look like a vase. At the bottom, it looks like a brain coral. There's stuff that looks like moss and peat there at the bottom of the ocean. There's stuff that has big, huge branches. There's other coral that waves and everything like that. And it's just amazing to me that that is a living organism. They're not really plants because they're filtering all the stuff out of the water. It's just amazing to me that there's so much diversity. The other really cool thing is how if you notice on the sandier parts of the ground there's really small little polyps. That's honestly a baby coral, and it floats through the ocean. It finds something solid to land on, and it grows. That's how you create this entire reef, is these tiny little things just happen to land on each other and keep building upward. This happens enough time, it gets put under enough pressure, and you actually create our limestone rocks. That's what it's from. Isn't that great?
I also want to point out on this part where the coral is this one blob in the center, but off to the left and to the right, there's it's just sand, and it's really impressive that it's all this life is centralized in this one little area. It blew my mind that that's how these are formed.